Hey, what's up? It's Demilich. Today we are diving into the relic units and seeing how they stack up both against each other and the rest of their army. Please give it a like, subscribe or subscribe later after watching, and let's move forward. First on the list, the Land Raider from the Space Marines. This tank is solid, standard speed but a massive 10,000 hit points. Its weapons hit hard and work well against pretty much anything. The downside, it's relatively short vision and firing range, so you've got to be careful where you park it. Now here's the cool bonus. Can carry a squad of basically any unit, just not the assault marines. And yes, like any tank, you can repair it. It also has a special ability that bumps up its resistance to range damage for 15 seconds, but heads up, the cooldown is 3 whole minutes, which limits its usefulness. All in all, I'd say the Land Raider is solidly average, maybe a little bit above that. For now, I'm slapping it into A tier. Next up, we've got the Squiggoth from the Orc army, and whoa, this thing is a tank with a ton of hit points. Its range and damage are pretty similar to the Land Raider, but it's got a twist. Its armor type is high demon, which makes it a bit trickier to deal with. Like other vehicles, it can be repaired by workers, but it doesn't regenerate on its own. On top of that, it can carry 2 squads of troops, which is super handy for those big orc pushes. The Squiggoth also has one ability that can help it retreat or go on the offensive. It's definitely a step up from the Land Raider with a couple of stronger features, but it's not a game changer. I'd still give it an A tier, just slightly ahead of the Land Raider. 100% A tier. The next unit on the list is Avatar Khaine from the Eldar army. As we can see, it's a bit slower than the previous unit. It also has no range attack, no abilities to quickly close distance and reach a specific spot. And very limited vision, only 25 points, which is very short. On the plus side, it has a large amount of hit points, massive damage against all armor types, and a passive ability that increases infantry limits to 24 and vehicle limits to 30, which is actually pretty good. And he also makes nearby units immune to the morale damage within a small radius, but it lacks the core function that the previous units had. So, while it boosts numbers, that doesn't mean you won't have to spend resources to deploy it. I'd say this unit is average. It ranks below the previous because it doesn't have the cool bonuses they do, it doesn't shoot, can't be repaired, and so on. I'd place it in the middle. Now we have the Greater Demon of Khorne the Bloodthirster from the Chaos faction. It's a mobile unit with the ability to fly, allowing it to quickly close distance and reach the spot it needs. It has a huge amount of hit points, just like the previous units, even without the range attack. This is fully compensated by its 2 leaps. It also deals massive damage to all armor types except the hero units, making it very strong melee attacker. It can be summoned beyond the limit. For example, if the limit is 20, it can appear outside of it, bringing the total in the army to 25. There is a minor drawback. It loses 5 hit points per second if it's not engaged in a melee. However, this isn't a major issue. If it dies, it's more likely to happen while fighting. Overall, this unit is strong and worth attention. The 5 hit points lost per second is noticeable, but the mobility and damage more than make up for it. That said, I still wouldn't place it higher than A tier. The Imperial Guard can boast an incredibly powerful relic unit. Its vision radius is 60 points. It has excellent long-range weapons that pierce through almost any armor, and slightly shorter range guns with a 35 range that handle infantry quite well. It's a superb tank with 10,000 hit points and the ability to be repaired at around 60 hit points per second. This unit is both artillery and super unit in one, capable of destroying everything from the safe distance. Its speed is decent, above the average, and this is an extraordinarily powerful unit. I see no reason not to place it in the S tier. It completely fulfills its role. I don't think anything else in the game can really surpass it. It's very likely the best among all relic units, without questions. Necron Monolith also has 60 vision radius, however its main weapon doesn't reach as far, with only 55 range. The flux arcs have a shorter range, just 30. It has 4 of them, but when targeting a single enemy you can only hit it with 2, maybe 3, but never all 4 at once. If surrendered by enemies though, you can fire all 4 plus the main gun. That said, it is vulnerable. It has 10,000 hit points, but if it drops to 2,500, it teleports back to the base and turns into the regular monolith. It has decent regeneration of 10 hit points per second, and if repaired by scarabs, the recovery raises to 40 per second. Essentially, it's a building that can produce troops directly on the battlefield, which is a powerful ability that greatly enhances its usefulness. The monolith doesn't take up any population cap. In this regard, it functions like a building. Teleportation, however, is very risky. After losing 20% of its health, the monolith can no longer teleport. And with its extremely low movement speed, just 3, the slowest of any living unit in the game, it can't escape much of anything. Still, in skilled hands, it's a fearsome weapon that allows steady, methodical advancement while dealing damage. Of course, it needs to be carefully protected with turrets and supporting units to guard against unexpected attacks. Overall, I'd say its stats compare somewhat to the Baneblade, but it does some serious drawbacks. It doesn't deal as much damage as the Baneblade and is more vulnerable despite its advantages. I'd still put it in S tier, but in my opinion, the Baneblade is the stronger unit. Next is the Great Knarloc of the Tau Empire. This is an extremely slow unit with only melee attacks. It takes up vehicle population but provides absolutely no bonuses. Honestly, there isn't much else to add. Yes, it deals decent damage against various armor types, but it's simply not worth it. It's clunky, very hard to control, and it's much better to fill your vehicle limit with Tau tanks that can actually shoot from range, perform fast strikes, or produce drones. Really, almost any other vehicle is better than this relic unit. I can't imagine why anyone would build it. Never, under any circumstances, should you seriously make this unit. If someone does, it's either as a joke to mock their opponent or because they're complete noob. I don't understand why the developers gave the Tau Empire such a useless relic unit. At the same time, other units can have absurdly powerful abilities that particularly border on cheating. Where is the logic in this kind of compensation? If they tried to balance things out this way, in my opinion, it was a bad idea. It doesn't even deal proper damage to high buildings, just 35 damage. Imagine 2 builders could just stand there repairing a building faster than it can damage it. That's ridiculous. Why would you waste time trying to hit high demons or other big targets with this thing when you could just mark them with the Pathfinder's mark and let your army finish the job easily? It makes no sense. This unit goes to the D tier because it's not just bad, it's worse than units of lower tiers. That's it. Next unit is the Dark Elder's Dais of Destruction, the fastest relic unit. It has a movement speed of 42, making it very quick. It comes with a solid ability that deals equal damage to all armor types with a short 90 seconds cooldown and a passive that reduces incoming range damage by 30% within a radius of 25. It deals good damage to infantry and performs decently against vehicles as well. Overall, its damage output is quite strong. On the downside, it has only maximum 7000 hit points and much lower than units like the Land Raider or the Squiggoth. It also consumes a significant amount of population, 6 points, which is another drawback. It lacks any real gap closing ability beyond its raw speed. In short, it's a decent unit but weaker compared to the others. I place it on a par with the Squiggoth and the Land Raider in terms of role, but its lower health and high population cost pull it down. I think it fits best in the B tier, alongside its kin, the Elder Avatar of Khaine. That seems fair. And finally, we have the Living Sand of the Sister of the Battle. She has 6000 hit points and 4 regeneration, which seems low, but she comes with a passive ability that allows her to resurrect with 2/3 of her health. That is another 4000 hit points. So, in total, we are really looking at about 10,000 effective health. What's more, she can resurrect again after 10 minutes. That's a nice bonus. She has 2.5 jumps that recharge in 110 seconds, plus an ability that deals decent physical damage to all enemy types, with a moderate cooldown of 3 minutes. Her movement speed is good, and with the jumps she can quickly reposition wherever she's needed. Her damage against buildings is low, but she deals solid damage to regular infantry, so she functions more as an anti-infantry relic unit. Compared to the Bloodthirster, she lacks his building damage, but she doesn't suffer from his negative drawback either. In that sense, she feels like a direct counterpart to him. Also, in the Definitive Edition, her resurrection bug was fixed, so now she can be used much more safely than in the vanilla version. Overall, I'd compare her closely to the Bloodthirster. He is stronger at destroying buildings, but that's usually not a problem for the army, since other units can handle structures. Meanwhile, she brings a few handy bonuses that balance things out. Still, she is a bit weaker overall. I place her in the A tier just behind the Bloodthirster. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment, share this video if you can. Any activity would be appreciated. See you.